Welcome everybody, it's Ryan Ryback. It's Wednesday, True Review Crew. This week's going to be Nerdrific. Yes, Nerdrific, because I'm going to have Star Trek on the review, plus a little extra little things for you. Before we get into that, let's go into this week in entertainment releases. Well, nothing at all. This week in wrestling, I was at Survivor Series this weekend in Washington, D.C. So, you're going to have to go over to my personal channel, which is youtube.com/RonnieWake. We'll go ahead and I'll put that link in the sidebar. I'll have some clips up from us at Survivor Series. We were 5 rows back, so they showed up okay. We got a flip cam, so you know how the zoom is. Match of the night that night had to have been Team Kofi versus Team Orton. It was just amazing. The ending of the match, come on, you got to see it. The whole match was great. The ending, amazing. Most memorable thing about that night, other than that match, was Shawn Michaels super kicking Triple H. Come on, right off the bat, super kick. Who would have thought it? Whole crowd was on their feet for that one. All right, now onto the nerd stuff. Yes, I said nerd stuff because we're reviewing this right here, J.J. Abrams, Star Trek from 2009.
You are capable of deciding your own destiny. The question is, which path will you choose?
James T. Kirk was a great man, but that was another life.
They're locking torpedoes. Emergency evasive!
Fire everything!
And yes, I did make up Nerdrific. Why? Because there's a lot of people in this movie that really? Seriously? It's a nerd fantasy right here. What do I mean by that? Nerd fantasy? Come on. You've got Chris Pine as James T. Kirk. Who knows who Chris Pine is? You also have Zachary Quinto, you know, Siler, as Spock. Yes, Spock. Well, one of the Spocks. Because also, Leonard Nimoy's in the movie as who else but Spock. The evil villain in this movie, played by Eric Bana, name's Nero. Comes from the future, sorta. Changes the timeline. Now it's an alternate universe. Alternate reality time. Reason it's Nerdrific, and I got a couple little things in there because we have Karl Urban. That's not Star Trek. That is. That's Karl Urban as Bones. The big surprise was Anton Yelchin as Chekhov. Really, he came out of nowhere, and he did a great job as playing Chekhov. 2 thumbs up for that one. The sex symbol in this for any guy, Zoe Saldana. And you can't really forget about Simon Pegg. No, not Shaun of the Dead. The other one. The other one. Yeah, that one. Montgomery Scott. I'm going to go ahead and give 2 thumbs up for the casting department and also J.J. Abrams for this movie. Great movie, timeline, alternate universe. So you don't really have to worry about knowing the old series to know this one. Really, seriously, you don't. You go in, you might help a little bit to know who's who, because if you don't know who Kirk is by now, really? Seriously? You don't know who James T. Kirk is? Really? So, alternate universes. So, Eric Bana's character, Nero, is from Romulus. He's a Romulan. And, well, supernova star. Romulus is dead. Guess what? Spock was the reason. So, Eric Bana's Nero follows Spock straight through this black hole. And they end up in 2 different timelines. Even though Spock went through first, he's 25 years later, 23 to 25 years later. Nero just happens to show up right in front of Kirk's father, who pretty much dies in this one, where in the original series, he lives. So in this, right off the bat, you see Omar Kirk's father. Dies, dead, goodbye. but he saved 600 lives, which is the reason why Kirk gets into the academy in the first place. The drawback for me in this movie is there is not a lot of academy stuff. I mean, I thought it was a prologue. I wanted to see how James T. Kirk came up, but you really only see a couple scenes, which you really need to see the scenes that are in the academy, because really, if you're a Star Trek fan, you'll understand. So, Nero comes in, captures Spock after 25 years, waits for him, goes to Vulcan, drops Spock on some deserted planet, and, well, blows up Vulcan. Nero spares the Enterprise for one reason. And that one reason, well, it's Spock. He sees the Enterprise, talks to Spock, and lets Spock watch. Well, actually, he lets both Spocks watch the destruction of Vulcan. Typical sci-fi. You've got James T. Kirk dropped off on the planet with Leonard Nimoy, the original Spock. Yeah, original Spock. This one. Not this one. This one. Yes, he's dropped off on a stupid planet and gets chased by a beast that gets eaten by another beast that chases Kirk again. Spock saves him. Then they meet up with Simon Pegg, and comedy ensues with Simon Pegg. And you got the whole Star Trek gang going back up to the Enterprise. Yeah, Simon Pegg, clue in. Montgomery Scott, said that earlier. Listen up. Okay. So now the whole crew is together, just like this, and you're missing Spock because he's actually in the background of the scene. Not the picture, but the scene. He's away. Don't worry about it. But he's away. If I get any more into it, gonna spoil it. Can't do that. So, instead of spoiling it, you get to watch this sexy scene with Uhura.
Because I promised her I'd stop bringing the guys back to the room.
How many guys have you...
Hey, how are you? Good. Strangest thing. I was in the long-range sensor lab. Yeah, I thought all night. I was tracking solar systems and I picked up an emergency transmission. Really? Yeah. From the Klingon prison planet. No. Yeah. The Klingon Armada was destroyed. 47 ships. So, you're not going back to the lab tonight? Kayla, who is he? Who's he?
I'm going to go ahead and forego the picture of the day because it's probably just going to be that scene. Something from it. Because Nerdrific, Uhura. Can you ask for anything else? Really? BA, I'll see you tomorrow. I actually hope I see you tomorrow because your videos are usually late. So, all I gotta say is live long and prosper. I think that's the wrong hand. That looks a little better. Maybe. I don't know. You'll correct me in the comments.